you see, this always happens whenever I'm running behind and fiddly farting around. And, I went ahead here and did some things and some stuff and some stuff and some things. And of course, I, got a new camera, in case you can't tell. Look at that bad boy. Isn't it a pretty little face you got going on here? And so everything's just a little bit different. Appreciate it, though. Thank you, Jack, for the shout out, and Brent for letting me know, because it was, that could have been all rough sleddings. But hey, what do you think of the new picture here? You guys want to see something cool? Yo, you want to see something cool? Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Hang on. All right. Bam. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Come on. All right, fine. Fuck it. Watch this. Blam. Now watch this. Let's see it. Let's check this out. Check this out, guys. Hey, fucking follow me, goddammit. There we go. All right. Yeah. Look at that, yo. Yo. Bro, I'm a fucking 12-year-old. I'm a 12-year-old. Come on, lock out. Lockout camera. Lockout. Come on. Lockout. There we go. All right, boom. Yo. Isn't that dope? New toy, dude. Yeah, bro. It's a AI assisted camera with no mirrors. It has no mirrors, dude. It's got no mirrors. So like the zoom is super sick on it, dude. And like it can track me. I can have it track me and only me. I can have it track multiple people, dude. Oops. Shit. God damn it. See, that's the problem though. I talk with my hands too damn much. You see what I'm saying? I talk with my hands way too much. Get out of here. This is going to be a problem. Well, this is going to be a problem. Guess I can't talk with my knife hands and my Trumpian ways, because the camera's going to not like that. Yeah, this is going to be a pain in the ass. We'll figure it out though, boys and girls. But as I was saying mutedly to nobody, it must suck to be Jordan Love, and F the Bears, F the Packers, bro, because like, even when I need the Packers to do me a solid, they still just like are like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like they just don't give a shit. They hang on. Why does it keep fucking turning on the hand tracking? Come on, turn off. Oh, this is gonna be a huge pain in the ass, isn't it? This is gonna be a huge pain in the ass. Oh, what is this? Oh. Ooh. Okay. Whoopsie poopsie. Whoopsie. Y'all ever seen a caveman play with new toys? Son of a bitch. It's a great camera. It's the best camera, FAI. But we love AI. Some say that it could be the best AI. I'm not saying it, but other people are saying it. I'm not saying it. But, our AI is much better, some say, than other countries' AI. You want to have the best AI. And I think the other AIs are shithole AIs. And here we have the best AIs. You can set a camera to Italian mode to not recognize all the hand movements. Bro, yes. I think I got it turned off for now. So unless I activate it, I think we got it turned off. I didn't have a lot of time. Yeah, I was going to work on this all Friday, and then I got called into work Friday night. So follow me on Twitter if you want to follow along with my life and screaming into the void, you guys. But NFL wildcard playoffs went wrong for 5 losing teams is a story we will cover from ESPN, talking about all the teams that got bounced. And as I was saying, the Packers can't do us a solid favor. The Packers can't do us nothing, even when you're rooting for them. They can't beat the Bears. Couldn't do us a solid there. Got up to an early lead too, and it was looking pretty cruise controlian. You know what I'm saying? Ben Johnson seemed to have his number, or Matt LaFleur seemed to have Ben Johnson's number, and then they decided to crap in their pants. And you can't win too many football games when you got Dookie in your britches. If you got britches full of Dookie, you're not going to get very far down the field. And that's exactly what the Packers did. And what I was saying right before you guys let me know that we were muted, you know how much it's got to suck to be Jordan Love? And, like, I'm not even trying to, like, dog Jordan Love or, like, glaze Jordan Love. But let's be honest. He's not bad, right? Like, Jordan Love is not a bad quarterback in this league. I mean, he's not like elite. He probably could get there if they put some fucking offensive line around him or some weapons around him. But you know, he's not bad. But, like, his whole career from college into the bigs, he's always been overshadowed and uplifted by the powers that be. And just in the 2 years since Giggle Willie was anointed the savior of the quarterback position at the NFL for whatever that meant, he has just seen Giggle Willie get such an overflated narrative around his skill set. He's better than Patrick Mahomes now, if you ask people in the NFL. If you ask people in the NFL, if you said, who's better, Giggle Willie or Patrick Mahomes, they'd say Patrick Mahoo. All I know is that Giggle Williams is the greatest thing that has ever happened. He's better than sex on a scooter, sliced bread, or pockets in your underwear full of sliced bread while having sex on a scooter. You know what I'm saying? And Jordan Love just gets, unless he's playing the Lions, just bypassed. Just the glazing from Herb Street and Al Michaels on Giggle Willie it's just ridiculous, you know. So a small part of me does feel bad for Jordan Love. All that to say, I the whole time I was rooting for the meteor. I was rooting for the sinkhole. I was rooting for anything but either outcome that had to happen. And unfortunately, the worst of the two outcomes happened. So we have another week of listening to Bears fans just chug on their Ben Johnsons and tug on their Giggle Willies until they run into an actual NFL team, hopefully here in the divisional round of the playoffs. But we'll talk about all the 5 losing teams. We're going to kind of try and blow through some things a little bit. I do have a bit. There will be no upload this afternoon. I got a shitload of stuff to do. I got a 17-hour day, rock and rolling. We got up at 5:30. We've been hammering, dude. I'm straight up like, I'm in jeans. Y'all say, I'm ready to go, dude. So we're going to kick it over to Lions Report afterwards. We're going to talk about Brad Holmes answers questions about Lions OC search that has 3 names written all over it. We'll see what Brad Berriman has to say over at Sideline Report. And then, of course, you guys know the top name on my list. To be fair, and shout out the individual, the Miami fans. I am very sorry that I didn't get a chance to respond to all of your comments yet. I've been busy. Busy boy. Miami fans pose an interesting narrative around Mike McDaniel that, knowing the culture of Detroit, I think is worth exploring and could be the actual Achilles heel to Mike McDaniel maybe not getting the job here in Detroit. It really does have to deal with that psych profile that I regularly talk about, what Brad Holmes looks for in players. You know, could be applicable to coaches as well. But we will look at Mike McDaniel. The Detroit Lions have a ton of competition for OC candidate Mike McDaniel. Is coming to, what do you know? Who could it be? Who could it be now? Do. Of course, it's Pride of Detroit. We're talking Jeremy Reisman this morning. If Mike McDaniel's the Lions' top offense coordinator candidate, they might have to fight off some other teams. Yeah, get back in, I say. Get back, I say. Get back. There are barbarians at the gate, and I say you must get back. Yes, get back. And of course, then you've seen it on the thumbnail. Hey, shout out. Let me know in the comments section whether you're watching this afterwards or live. Guys, what do you think of the new thumbnail palette? The new thumbnail template there for the live show. Do you like that? Do you like the new template? That's kind of what I tried to work on this weekend a little bit when I had time. And we're also going to be revamping the VOD 4 p.m. upload thumbnail as well once we get a little bit of time. But we will be talking thumbnail boy. Hey! Oh, man. If you've been following that and Beard Show since I want to say about 4 days after the draft, somebody in the Lions fandom. Now, I'm not going to say who. Some say. So don't fucking do that. Don't do that. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Boom. Some might say, one of the brightest minds, the largest, fastest growing Detroit Lions content creation station. But one of us in the Pride here on YouTube.com, I think it's the Hat and Beard Show, had been saying how action Jack Campbell was poised to have himself just a monster of a year, how he was going to be the next coming of Brian Urlacher of the NFL. He's going to dominate the NFC North at the linebacker position. And it's like I can read the fucking tea leaves. 4 Detroit Lions named All-Pro, 2 on each side of the ball. 2 first-teamers, and one of them is the thumbnail guy. So I'm going to take me a quick little victory lap here and say, I told you so. Let's go, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already and you want to partake in the live chat, you got to be subscribed and a member of the Hat and Beard Show. Obviously not a subscription membership. Just subscribe to the channel. It's free. It's $0. And everyone here in Mad Hatter Nation wants to know where you're at and why you're not hanging out. We're Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at YouTube.com. Make sure you got that notification bell turned on. That way you can be notified when we upload our 4 p.m. upload. Not today, but our 4 p.m. upload, little standalone video, a little bit of oversaturation of the market, but it's a war of attrition, and we're gonna take it to bigger corporations, WWs. We're gonna try and slam it against them. Just a one-man wrecking crew. You know how it goes. The rebels against the evil empire. Go ahead and like the video. Share this around with every single person that you know. Save your hypes for my VODs. That seems to get quite a bit of traction. It helps with growth and development. So save your hypes for the VODs at the 4 p.m. upload. But go ahead and share this around with every single person that you know. Now that that's all out of the way, we are going to go ahead and dive into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
All right. Shout out. You know, James Ruff had a good question. In case you guys are wondering, I keep using the term VOD. What do you mean? Hat and Beard. Well, that stands for video on demand. Essentially, it's a not live. It's just not live. It's if you wanted to like watch this video after the live stream, technically it's called a video on demand, but it is our little, you know, somewhere between a 15 to 20 minute long little video. If you're familiar with Tim Pool and the work he does, you're going to start to recognize a little bit of the patterns that we are mirroring and mimicking here at the Hat and Beard Show. But, guys, so let's get into it. Oh, my cats want to come into the room. That's awesome. NFL wildcard playoffs. What went wrong for 5 losing teams? 5 L's. 5 NFL teams saw their dreams of hoisting the Lombardi Trophy end over the weekend. The Panthers, Packers, Jaguars, Chargers, and the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles all fell in the wild card round of the NFL playoffs. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say it real quick. The narrative around the Detroit Lions is going to continue to be proven. Detroit versus everybody. Watch it here. Watch it now. Obviously, the Lions were the 1 seed in the playoffs last year out of the NFC, and we were not even in the dance this go-around. And we heard, hate. Jared Goff is not the answer. Dan Campbell might need to be fired, and the Lions is the Super Bowl window closed. While on the inverse to that, the Kansas City Chiefs were also eliminated from playoff contention prior to the start of the regular season. Not only were they the 1 seed, but they were perennial Super Bowl appearing teams and a dynasty in the making, though that window has now slammed shut. But I don't hear any of the, oh, they're done, they need to fire everybody, blow it all up, blow it, blah, 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 their window's closed, they're not a real team, Patrick Mahomes needs everything to be perfect. Well, explain to me then how the defending Super Bowl champions got eliminated in the wild card round of the playoffs. So clearly, if we're going to follow the narrative around Detroit, if Detroit can't make the playoffs, and anybody else who made it to the dance and or to the Super Bowl and failed to meet that exact same standard as last year, obviously it must be a big failure, right? It must be a big failure. Jalen Hurts needs everything to be perfect. Clearly, Saquon Barkley's not a good running back. They need to blow up the entire offense, get rid of all their coordinators. Nick Sirianni. Actually, I don't like Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni needs to fucking go. Oh, that's right. That narrative only applies to the Detroit Lions. Gotcha. My bad. Mr. Stupid Pants over here. In the postseason, promised to be wide open. We had 3 games decided by late touchdowns. A 4th came down to a red zone stop, and a 5th stayed within 1 score for most of the night before one team, the Patriots, pulled away late. 5 organizations are moving on to the into the offseason, and we're here to help. I'm going to break down, blah, 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 the Chargers. Got to hit this oil can real quick here, fellas. I'm not sure Jim Harbaugh's quarterback has ever been beaten up in a game the way that Justin Herbert was hit over and over again by the Patriots on Sunday. With an underwhelming run game, an offense that couldn't diagnose New England's coverages, a green light to scramble at the first sign of daylight, and little in the way of help from his offensive line, Herbert endured 21 hits for the 3 points the Chargers scored in Foxborough. That number of hits was tied for Herbert's season high, and are the most for any Harbaugh-coached quarterback in a single game going back through his time in San Francisco. On one hand, you can argue that Herbert put the team on his back because nobody else was capable of doing so. The Chargers struggled to separate from New England's coverage for most of the night. Running back Murray Hampton was active, but played only 2 snaps with an ankle injury, ceding the backfield to Kamani Vidal, who was ineffective. Drops from the likes of Keenan Allen didn't help. That's a very, very rare kind of situation. That's something that, I mean, let's be real. Love him or hate him, Keenan Allen has been historically a very sure-handed wide receiver. And Herbert didn't have a single receiver top 32 yards. He scrambled out of duress for gains, but as a passer, Herbert went just 3 of 8 for 21 yards against the pressure. We can also make the case that the Chargers' season really ended when Joe Alt went down for the second time with what would be a season-ending ankle injury. Losing Rashawn Slater to a ruptured patellar tendon was one thing, but going for months without both starting tackles essentially co-signed the Chargers' offense to mediocrity. It fell from the 3rd in the league in EPA per play with Alt on the field to 26th without him, cycling through various tackles with little success. On Sunday, the Chargers made a Patriots defense that finished the season 23rd in DVOA look like the 2003 or 2016 Pats defense, even as New England lost Carlton Davis III and Christian Gonzalez for stretches. I'm just going to be very honest with you guys. There you go. An excuse that could be applied to the Detroit Lions. Oh, you lost Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater to season-ending injuries? Okay, we lost Kevin Zeitler to free agency and Frank Ragnow to retirement. Then we lost Christian Mahogany. Oh, that's... Gosh, guys, I keep forgetting that these narratives only apply to 31 teams. Slater and Alt will be back in 2026, and between pass catchers McConkey, Johnston, and Gadsden, and running backs Vidal and Hampton, the Chargers will have young playmakers on cost-controlled contracts for another year. Ortiz's job will be to fix the interior of the offensive line. I wonder whether he'll look to make a big offer to center Tyler Linderbaum, a player he is familiar with their time together with the Ravens, and one who is set to hit unrestricted free agency. Yeah, for now, till he's tagged at least. It's difficult to spend big money on interior linemen when Herbert and Slater already have massive deals and Alt coming due on the next year. Oh, wow. Joe Alt really is coming up on a contract extension. Wow, man, that's crazy. That is crazy. Time flies. But the relatively low cost of the Chargers playmakers might allow for the big contract on the interior. It would be a surprise if Becton was back. Yeah, Mekhi Becton played like ass, did not live up to that $9 million contract. Let's talk about the Eagles. I'm not going to continue to delve into we don't care about the Chargers. The Eagles, when they fall to the Niners 23-19. If you were building a perfect example of what a frustrating 2025 Eagles loss would look like, it would be what we saw against the 49ers on Sunday. A couple of solid early scores before the offense completely shut down in the third quarter? Check. Frustrating penalties that wipe away big plays? Check. On offense, missing Lane Johnson. He missed a kick by Jake Elliott that changed the game late. Calculus. An excellent defense let down in the spots by its weakest links on the back end. An end game of sequence in which the passing game sputters and drops a low percentage throws. Check, and check. And the Eagles have played variants of this game against good teams for most of the season, with a few breaks going one way or the other late to decide who wins. Things might have been different if Jalen, my butt hurts, had been able to escape the pocket and scramble for what looked like an easy first down in the final sequence, only for the 49ers midseason addition, Keon White, to trip him up for a loss of 1 yard. Instead of being in a first and goal situation with 3 timeouts, the Eagles were stuck in second and long. It didn't pick up a single yard the rest of the way. That is not going to get the job done. Against a 49ers team that had been battered by injuries and lost George Kittle to a season-ending torn Achilles in the first half. Damn, dude. I like George Kittle, man. I know he was getting up there. Y'all, is George Kittle going to have to retire? I mean, come on now. What was his age, bro? Oh, no. He's 32, which means he won't be able to play again until he's like 33, 34, bro. Ooh. Damn. Oh, that sucks, bro. That's that shit I'm talking about, man. I hate seeing dudes like get hurt like this at the end of their career or sustain an injury that ends their career. Y'all, for real, a torn Achilles in the first half of the wild card game? Damn. It was notable how the Eagles suffered when their weaker starters and depth players were brought into focus. The Niners hit a pair of big plays in the first half when the deep safety in the middle of the field, first Marcus Epps and Reed Blankenship, was simply unable to slow down a receiver and allowed significant yards after the catch in the process. Those plays amounted to 106 of San Francisco's 186 yards in the first half, setting it up for 10 points. Hey, maybe the Niners are still interested in Brock Wright, and we could ship him off there. Yeah, James Ref, right on, dude. All right, so you guys, what the hell was that? I don't care, Microsoft. Get out of here. You guys feel me on that? That sucks, dude. Like, all right, man. Like, I don't know enough about like George Kittle. I don't like follow him on social media, but like his personality, whenever I see him in interviews, whenever I like the way he acts in commercial, bro, doesn't George Kittle seem just like a fun ass dude to hang out with, bro? Like, I bet George Kittle is so much fun to party with, dude. I bet he is a fun guy, man. I bet he's just a real fun guy. And it just like, I liked him. I'm a like back end kind of like when I was a kid, I liked the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? Like, who didn't like the kid or like the Niners when they were a kid? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I do have a little soft spot for George Kittle, you know, like deep down, I like Fred Warner, you know, I like Nick Bosa. I like fucking George Kittle, you know, I like Christian McCaffrey. I respect the story around Brock Purdy, you know, I don't like Kyle Shanahan, but like, dude, damn, bro. And low-key, I can't really, it's kind of, damn, dude. He'd be awesome to have a few beers with. Shout out Trippy. Yeah, for sure, bro. Kittle would be a great tight ends coach. We won't see the last of him. Yeah, dude, James. You know what, though, bro? I feel like George, I don't know, man. Does George Kittle's personality, do you think he's going to go the coaching route? Or do you think, like, dude, I bet you George Kittle, like, ends up fucking going, like, the Taylor Lewan route and just, like, having, like, a wildly successful podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, George Kittle could crush it in the new media game. Crush it in the new media game. Bro, I bet you that if George Kittle actually wanted to and coordinated it properly with producers and stuff, I bet you that if George Kittle focused on it within 5 to 7 years, George Kittle could probably build a brand that rivaled Pat McAfee, bro. Legit. Like, legit, I bet you he could. He has that type of personality. You know what I'm saying? And he has that type of marketability. He's so much, like, of a big personality that has his fingers in a bunch of different entertainment pies. You know what I'm saying, bro? Dude, yeah, George Kittle could, like, yeah, dude, if George Kittle, like, really wanted to, he could podcast in camps for high schoolers. Yeah, dude, exactly, bro. Podcasts and, like, community, like, get like outreach, like camps for kids and stuff, dude. Yeah, bro. I like Loki. Hey, George Kittle, Loki, if you're watching this, bro, check me out. Check me out. Start a podcast. All right. So the Niners or the Jags lost to the Bills in wild fashion, 27-24. After what would have been an excellent debut season for head coach in Jacksonville. I'm worried Liam Cohen is going to be sick for weeks. The Jags let the game get away from them in a way that I would not have anticipated. On the day when Trevor Lawrence struggled with consistency and went 18 of 30 for 207 yards, that's not going to get it done, bud. 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, that's not going to get it done, bud. The Jags simply didn't run the ball often enough. Well, Jacksonville, if you would like, since you're a playoff team, and if you're looking for a running back, I'll give you David Montgomery for a second-round pick. It's one of the things that gets away from the run, to get away from the run when an offense doesn't have success or it's facing a team that has a solid run defense. But neither of those things were true. The Bills' rush defense, ranked 31st in EPA per play against designed runs, was their obvious weakness heading into the game, and the Jags boomed on the ground in their first touchdown drive as Bayshul Tootin I'm 12. Bro, I ain't laughing at you. I'm just laughing at the way it sounds in my headphones when I say tootin'. Bayshul Tootin racked up consecutive carries for 20, 14, and 13 yards. Inexplicably, the rookie got just one carry the rest of the way. Oh no, dude. I know what happened. Guys, the duo of Tootin and ETN Jr. combined for just 14 carries, which they turned into 118 yards and a 71% success rate by EPA designed rush by running backs. This was the 13th most efficient rushing performance of the season in any game by any set of backs. The Jags simply didn't get to it enough. Well, I'll tell you what happened, bro. Come on, guys. We know what happened. Can you guys guess what happened? Sounds like Jacksonville decided to hire John Morton to be their offensive coordinator, and they're like, hey, the run game's working with both backs. Let's go ahead and throw the ball 30 friggin' times. Wow. That's not going to get it done. That's not going to get it done, boys and girls. I mean, come on now. I think we figured it out. I'm not going to read all this nonsense. I really don't want to read about the Packers and Bears. I just don't want to. Do you guys want to? Do you guys want me to read about the Packers and Bears? I don't want to read about the Packers and Bears. Oh, what's up? Thanks, James. Appreciate that, brother. The Kittles and Beard Show. Love this show. Thank you, bro. Dude, thank you so much for that. I appreciate the super chat. My guy, thank you so much, dude. That is shit, my camera's doing the thing again. That is super duper what's up of you, bro. Thank you, man. That is super appreciative. If I'm gonna be very honest. If George Kittle wanted to, bro, I don't think he understands how little of a salary I would take in comparison to his earning potential and what he already earns, but would be life-changing. Bro, yeah, dude, 100%. Me and George Kittle should do a podcast, for real. Like, there are two distinct avenues that I want to go down. I either want too much pizza, bro. Legit, American boxer, you ain't wrong, dude. Fucking Zen sliding around. Yeah, Kittle is in Cali. Not only would Kittle's in Cali, he would never. I would never, because I'm looking at it, guys. I was crunching the numbers the other day, looking at my analytics and stuff, and based on the numbers, my channel is now entering what's called phase 2 development of YouTube channels because I'm so close to being fully monetized, subscribed, so we can get to that 1,000 subscriber number. I'm now what's in phase 2, so they're gonna start pushing my content out a little bit more to wider content or a wider audience group, right? So based on the numbers, I can go one of two very distinct avenues. And you bring up a really, God damn it, fucking camera. I can either like do another podcast with somebody like George Kittle and really like develop a brand, which would be wildly beneficial for both of us. I think both George Kittle and I would mutually benefit from being podcast hosts together. Or I can go in another avenue, which is like do like a full like 180 degree pivot. And I could start coordinating with the JD Vance camp and starting our campaign early of Vance and Beard 2028. Let's go! Woo! Just kidding, but for real. Yeah, for real. Let's start this grassroots movement, dude. Beard and Vance 2028, brother. Yeah, so we're not going to read about the Packers. Nobody likes the Packers, dude. We're here to talk about the Lions, right? I bet he gets the girls. They like that goofy season of humor. Yeah, dude, for sure. Vance Beard 2028, bro. Make beards great again, dude. We could be the beard party, bro. We could be the party of beards, bro. And then I'll take it a step farther. Once I'm in the vice presidency of the White House, bro, like, obviously, I'm going to let the boss do his thing. He's got a bunch to do. I'm going to work on my very own, very, very exclusive projects, right? We're going to work to bring back 3-piece suits and, like, nice hats and like dressing well and well-groomed beards. We're going to go back to like 1800 style grooming, you know, like beards and like nice hats and suits. We're going to present ourselves. We're going to work to change culture to present ourselves nicely when we go out in public. We're going to have a public outreach, a 4-year movement to teach people how to wash their balls and butthole because people fucking stink, man. Oh my God, people fucking stink out in the world, bro. MPGA, make beards great again, dude. Hell yeah. Aaron Kosh. Bro. Dude, I got a 6th grade reading level. How am I supposed to read that? Aaron Kosharky's White Knight. Did I say? Yeah, Aaron Kosharky's White Knight. There we go. Packers are gay. You, my friend, speak truth. Oh. I want to see more twirly, twisty mustaches. Oh, shit, James. That's a total direction we can go to, bro. You know what, dude? James, when Grandma Wagon, this conversation, when I am vice president in 2028, Vance Beard 2028, let's get that movement going. I will appoint you the czar of mustache twirling. The mustache twirling czar. The fuck, make beards great again, bro. Let's go. Oh man. Yeah, American dude, I bet you George Kittle could do stand up. So I did stand up for like 12 years, dude. Kittle has that natural charisma that you need on stage. He has a big personality that can command a room, and he has natural comedic timing when you watch him like in interviews and stuff. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, so let's talk about Lions. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. What are you doing? Ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live, Monday through Friday, right here, 10 a.m. Brad Holmes answers about Lions OC search has 3 names written all over it. Shout out Brad Berriman over at SideLionReport.com. There he is. There's old Melvin. Shout out Mr. Detroit City. Probably working and lurking right now, but there's our boy. There's your boy, Mr. Detroit City, Melvin. I know you like your boy. Yeah, guy. As expected, the Detroit Lions parted ways with OC John Morton days after the 2025 season came to an end. After having play calling duties taken away from him in the middle of the season, it is best to rip off the Band-Aid and move on, even though he was like, please, I want to be just a part of an organization. I don't want to have to go back to selling cars. No! Yeah, John Morton. I'm telling you, John Morton, they still have the job posted for the assistant manager down at the Burger King down the road, bro. It's got your name written all over it, brother. As coaching changes have happened around the league, time is of the essence in the search for a new coordinator. This time is of the essence. And how big of a check is Sheila willing to write to some, well, if you want big names, you're going to have to spend big money, big money, big money, money, money. Sheila, big money, 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 mama, big money, mama. Let's go, big money. Sheila, Sheila, Sheila. With that in mind, reports have already offered 2 candidates for the Lions offensive coordinator post. Head coach Dan Campbell will lead a thorough search, though, ideally with no viable options left out of being possible in sheer deference to familiarity or previous ties. In general, the composition of the coaching staff is not anything the general manager greatly concerns himself with, but Campbell and Brad Holmes might be more aligned than any head coach-general manager combination in the league. So Campbell might bring offensive coordinator candidates he's considering to Holmes just to get his thoughts. And let's just go ahead and shout out that yes, it is sideline report, so there is a little bit more of a familiarity with the Lions organization and a built-in biasy. But shout out the acknowledgement. Quote, but Campbell and Holmes might be more aligned than any head coach general manager combination in the league. And I will continue to point stuff like that out because it is very impressive, the success that these two men have had together when you look at the different dynamic that they had. Remember, guys, remember, big money mama Sheila was the one that hired Dan Campbell and then separately hired Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes did not select Dan Campbell, breaking with tradition of the NFL, which is why I've said from the very beginning, if this was going to be successful, the way that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes go about conducting their business, building through the draft, the way they play the game on the field, even though the NFL is doing everything they can to try and keep our aggressive masculine values out of the game, if we were to be successful, it will indeed revolutionize the NFL, and we've seen it come to fruition with the going for it consistently on fourth downs. Teams are trying to be like the Detroit Lions, realizing how bonus possessions for offense can be wildly successful to a high-efficiency offense as long as your game plan is locked and loaded, right? Going back to, this year was a little different because of offensive line issues, but going back to phasing away, pivoting from the passing attack, the Patrick Mahomes, the 5,000-yard watermarks, right? We're going to lean into a two-headed attack, running back attack. We're going to get gritty, and we're going to get bully ball on your ass. And it's just step A, step B, step C, all various levels of success, all wildly different from what we see the NFL traditionally doing. And now you see the NFL being a league of parity. Well, teams are trying to do what the Lions do or have been doing for the past few years. Brad Holmes might have revealed the starting point for Lions offensive coordinator search. During his season-ending press conference, Holmes was asked about the quick decision to part with Morton. Quote, in this business, in these chairs, you have to make some really tough decisions. Look, Johnny did a lot of good things with us this time around. No, he didn't. And the first time around, no, he didn't. We missed the playoffs both times that John Morton was affiliated with the Detroit Lions organization during the Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes administration. We're appreciative of all his efforts and everything that he put into it. But look, there is time where you just have to make a decision, especially when candidates are becoming available. You have to just make the tough decisions to move forward and move on. With the head coach firings and other staff departures that have taken place around the league, some big-name offensive candidates have surfaced to go with some who were already available. The Lions quickly showed interest in former Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel when he was fired. Holmes confirmed that outside coordinator options have been considered, and having experience calling plays won't be a prerequisite. And that was, at the time, David Blau was still kind of in the mix there. I think this is also him subtly tipping his hat to Hank Fraley, also was an interviewee last go around. Probably should have gotten the job over John Morton, but can't put that toothpaste in the tube. You can't grandma wagon this conversation for too much longer. He also noted it seems like a sneaky critique of Morton. The need for someone who has leadership, is detail-oriented, and has command over the room. Just listening to John Morton talk, none of those were ever once met. He doesn't look like he is a detail-oriented individual. He clearly has absolutely no leadership skills. And when you think about the Lions' offensive, you never put John Morton first and center. You never even really would acknowledge that he was calling the plays, short of calling bad plays, pointing the finger at your offensive coordinator is bad, bad, bad. He had no control over anybody. He is not an assertive, dominant man. And I'm not trying to make this a manosphere thing or a men's podcast bullshit, but he just wasn't a man. He just wasn't a man. And Dan Campbell, with the players that we acquire, the psych profile that we have on players, and the aggressive nature of our team led by Dan Campbell, you got to be Rambo. You got to be up there with Rambo. Now, that's saying a lot. I mean... I don't know if that really applies to Ben Johnson because he's not a Rambo. He's more of a butthole. But, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. All of what Holmes said points to 3 potential offensive coordinator candidates being at the top of the Lions list. All 3 also getting looks for head coaching jobs, so it will be a challenge to hire them as a coordinator until those options are exhausted for each. And obviously, they're not hired to be a head coach somewhere else. McDaniel's clearly one, with almost instant interest in him proving it. Former Cleveland Brown Eyes head coach Kevin Stefanski is another. And while the stylistic fit feels strained, former Washington Commanders offensive coordinator and Arizona head coach Cliff Kingsbury stands out as a third candidate of the ilk Holmes noted. I don't think Cliff Kingsbury is the route that we want to go. I feel like if we were to go from John Morton to Cliff Kingsbury, I feel like we're just going from a Whopper to a double Whopper. Whoopity-doo. It gets you absolutely nothing. Lions need to aim high and invite outside ideas. In their search for a new offensive coordinator, the candidates Holmes seems strongly hint at are, at a minimum, a good starting point. I do like the first 2 names. Obviously, you guys know that I am very, very, very high on Mike McDaniel, and I have been since last year, right? I was last year at this time when small PP Benedict Arnold Osama Ben Johnson was taking the job in Chicago. I was calling for Mike McDaniel to be fired in Miami and the Lions to pick up Mike McDaniel. That's what I was like, there's our guy right there. So you guys know me. I'm very high on Mike McDaniel. I do like Kevin Stefanski. I think he was unceremoniously fired from Cleveland. I don't know why they did that, but that's neither here nor there when the issue is clearly the brass in front of him. Barry is just not a great GM. They just... But that's Cleveland's MO, man. That's Cleveland's MO. They get dumpster-fired GMs who just light the whole thing ablaze and walk away with a big fat-ass paycheck into generational wealth and sail off into the high seas. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Stefanski would be a great offense coordinator for the Lions. Again, I still like Mike McDaniel. I am not at all in the Cliff Kingsbury camp. How do we feel, Mad Hatter Nation? Mad Hatter Nation, how do you guys feel about the Cliff Kingsbury narrative? Does McDaniel have a wife and kids? I think he does. Runs real fast, though. Yeah, yeah, he does. More like Cliff Cheeksbury. You're killing it today, James. If I was McDaniel, I'd step back OC for a good team for a couple of years and wait on the right opportunity to open up. Rick, shout out Rick C with a real good take there. Also, Brent DeWitt, bye-bye, Johnny Mo Screens, dude. Yeah, that Johnny Mo Screens, bro. He was driving me nuts, dude. But Rick, I'm with you, dude, because look, McDaniel has an opportunity right now in front of him. He can either try it again right now and take, the Tennessee job, which I'm telling y'all is kind of a good job to maybe go after. If you wanted to be a franchise that has a solid foundation already laid in place to build to do a rebuild around, I think Tennessee is a good jumping off point. But if I was Mike McDaniel, take a step back, dude. Take a step back. Redevelop, reinflate your resume. Rebuild your pedigree, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Try and reestablish yourself as a success. And then maybe have more of a pick of the litter instead of a take whatever is available. Stephen A. Smith, pointed out that he couldn't win in temperatures under 40 degrees. Well, come to the NFC North. Yes, Detroit plays indoors, and so does Minnesota. So that is, 9 games inside minimum. But you're still technically in the NFC North, and you're still technically a cold weather climate. So that can kind of break that narrative right there a little bit. Also, I do think that the the big overarching views that Mike McDaniel has, the big picture images that he has for a lot of stuff, I think Jared Goff and him probably are on the same brainwave. Don't those guys kind of seem like very non-traditional, kind of goofy, but like 10,000 IQ moves? I gotta quit. Every time I move my hand and start whoa, what was that? What the hell was that? Whoopsie poopsie. There we go. That was wild as hell. American Boxer. We will talk about Todd Monken later in the week, my guy. I need to do because I'm kind of a little up in the air on Todd Monken. I don't know. I don't know enough about him to know how his style translates to what the Lions do. You know what I'm saying? But we will talk about Todd Monken. Don't worry, just not today, bro. We'll try out a job in the college ranks. James, that's a good point, dude. The thing that I would worry about is if McDaniel went to the college ranks. College kids are kind of wild, bro. And he couldn't even control the Miami locker room. So how would he handle a bunch of like crazy immature teenagers with NFI money? You know what I mean? Or NIL money. NFI. The fuck is that? What the fuck am I talking about? What corruptions don't require any sense of urgency? Oh, occupations don't require any sense of urgency. Any type of administration job, any type of paperwork pusher. Yeah, exactly. Awkward, funny, and intelligent. Goff and McDaniel. Exactly, dude. Couple of weirdos in their weirdo pod being weirdos. You know what I'm saying? It'd be dork boy fresh offense, bro. That's what our offense would be called. When McDaniel gets hired as the Lions OC with Jared Goff, it's not going to be the greatest show on turf. It's going to be him and Gibbs and Goff acting silly and Amon-Ra and J-Mo picking boogers and flicking them to the moon, dude. We're going to call it the dork boy offense. Dork boy fresh offense, bro. Legit. The dork boy fresh. Speaking of Mike McDaniel, they might have a ton of competition. As the OC candidate, Mike McDaniel. If McDaniel is the Lions' top OC candidate, they may have to fight off some other teams. Get back! Get back, I say! He's mine! Get back, I say! He's mine. It remains to be seen whether Miami's head coach Mike McDaniel is the Lions' leading candidate for a vacant offensive coordinator job, but the team is clearly interested. What's also clear is that McDaniel remains a strong candidate not only for the offensive coordinator jobs, but his window is clearly open to land another head coaching job fresh off his exit from Miami. According to Tom Pelissero, McDaniel will interview for 4 head coaching jobs this week. He'll chat with the Brown Eyes, the Falcons, the Titans, and the Baltimore Ravens over the next few days. Pelissero also noted that McDaniel's interview with the Lions is currently scheduled, but he has not provided an actual date. Atlanta wouldn't be a terrible job for him. I would shy away from Cleveland. I think Tennessee, I think Cam Ward has a lot of upside, and they are a few positions away from having a very effective offense that could compete in what would be Cam Ward's year 2. Though, looking at it, if Mike McDaniel were to take an OC or a head coach job, as much as I had said that while in Baltimore, the biggest roadblock or hindrance to John Harbaugh winning a second Super Bowl was the skill set and star power of Scary Sparkle Spice, right? I honestly think that if you wanted a head coach who could get every drop of ability in a very unique, very interesting flash-in-the-pan offense, man, oh man, the mind of Mike McDaniel probably could do that for Scary Sparkle Spice. Do I think that Mike McDaniel would be able to communicate what his plan is and what he's trying to achieve with people, the team in Baltimore, the fans of Baltimore? I don't know. And I'm not saying that they're dumb and McDaniel's smart or nothing like that. I just think that the culture of Baltimore, the city, and the team is so wildly in contrast to that of a didn't Mike McDaniel go to fucking Yale? I mean, he's kind of an odd guy. That's what I say, dork boy fresh offense here in Detroit. I don't know. I feel like I feel like although Mike McDaniel could potentially unlock the championship winning skill set of Lamar Jackson, I still feel like you'd be trying to run a race by putting you'd be trying to run a 100-meter sprint against Olympians. And Mike McDaniel would be like trying to put your left flip-flop on your right foot and run a race while with other people in spikes. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, you probably could. In a very weird way, you could probably do it, but I don't think it's going to be the right fit all around, you know? Also, I just want him to be the Lions offensive coordinator. Despite the Dolphins never reaching full expectations under Daniel, it should be McDaniel. It's clear. Come on, man. Jeremy. Come on, bro. You got to do better than that. Bro. Despite the Dolphins never reaching full expectations under McDaniel, it's clear he is still valued as both an offensive mind and a potential team leader. A disciple of Kyle Shanahan, McDaniel turned Miami's offense into a top 10. We've read that 17 times over. McDaniel is one of 3 known available candidates for the Lions offensive coordinator job. Seahawks pass game coordinator Jake Peetz and Ravens quarterback coach T. Martin are the other 2. Well, there you go. A little Ravens connection there. The Lions reportedly showed interest in David Butthole Blau, but he officially received a promotion to become Washington Commanders' next offensive coordinator. Yeah, they really Bill Walsh us there, beat us to the punch, huh? So no Blau coming to Detroit. Everyone can rest calmly and sleep peacefully tonight. There will be no David Blau as your offensive coordinator in Detroit. And everyone that was all pissed off about that, there you go. Revenge of the Nerds, dude. Yes. Hey, what's up, Art Vanderlei? How you doing, bro? Better make a sooner than later decision. You know the Eagles are going to be looking for a OC ASAP. Hell yeah, they are, dude. Yes, they are. Hey, Art, shout out, dude. Do you like the new image, bro? Does it look better? New camera, dude. New camera. Looking a lot. I think it looks a lot sharper. I don't think I look as soft. I think it looks a lot sharper. It's looking way sharper, dude. Wobbly. Scary Sparkle isn't ever winning anything ever. Brent, I don't blame you, dude. He's a super talented athlete. But, it's just, I don't know, man. I just don't, the dual threat quarterback, man, like, it's fun to watch, bro, but it don't do it for me, man. It don't do it for me. If Montgomery goes to the Jets, I'll become a Jets fan until they play the Texans. Hell yeah. Camera looks good. Thank you, Brent. I appreciate it. Thank you, Art. It looks awesome. I appreciate it, bro. This is a new camera, so I thought it looked I think it looks way crispier. I mean, you guys can actually you can see details, bro. Legit. And Art, it's an AI assisted PTZ camera with no mirrors. So I showed the chat early on. I can disable it that it can track me around the room and stuff, bro. It's pretty sick. It's actually pretty fun. It's a fun toy. I like my new toy. And honestly, to be honest, for all of the bells and whistles, this is the OSPOT Mini. Yeah, OSPOT Mini. The price point really wasn't that bad. I'm going to be honest. For as high quality of an image as you're getting right now and all the fucking bells and whistles that this thing has, bro, this camera that I'm using right now that has a shitload more features, a way better image, right? And I mean, it has AI assisted lighting controls and shit. So it's adjusting for the lights and the lighting right now and stuff. This camera was $100 cheaper than the camera I was using that I bought 5-6 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's way nicer, way more features, smaller. I mean, infinitely smaller, dude. Like 3 times smaller than my other camera and cheaper. So it's sick. I can read the signed picture is much sharper. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. Yeah, you can read the sign, can't you? You can see the actual laser etched lasered logo on my whiskey over here. So I got this Hat and Boobs got me this whiskey decanter with some laser etched Batman. It's the decanter's laser. God damn it! See if we can't move it over here. Come on, can we stop doing that? There we go. It's laser etched, and then she's got me some tumblers that go with it. That's in the case back there, but you can actually see the laser etching. Wow, yeah, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. Do you think Gibbs is going to develop as a pass blocker skills during the offseason? American Boxer, I hope that is the number one thing he does. If Jahmyr Gibbs wants to unlock himself, he spends the entire offseason just training with Penei Sewell. Strength training, pass blocking, all he does is him and Penei Sewell become best friends, and all they do is spend the entire offseason training together. And then next year when we see Gibbs in camp, he comes walking in, and his arms are as big as Saquon Barkley's thighs, bro. And we just see the emergence of Adrian Peterson's agility and all-around physical skill set coupled with Jamal Williams' road grading physical nature and Marshall Falk's pass blocking pedigree. Boom. What's up, Mr. Figs? I've been counting your nose hairs for the last 10 minutes. My guy, I was thinking about you, bro. I was thinking about it because Hat and Boobs, like, she said to me that she goes, "What are you talking about nose hairs?" And I was like, "Oh, Mr. Figs was like, new camera. You're going to be able to count his nose hairs, bro." I could maybe zoom in on it, but that'd be weird. I'll say, tell you what, dude. If you want up hot and heavy action like that, up nose hairs action like that, you're going to have to subscribe to my OnlyFans. Hat and Meat. Gibbs says he's got to get up to 210, 212 before he doesn't like playing that big. Oh, damn, Brent. Come on, man. I was looking forward to Brandon Jacobs size Jahmyr Gibbs. Yo, dude, if Jahmyr Gibbs rolled into camp looking like Brandon Jacobs next year, I'd be like, oh, great. He's going to get suspended because he's clearly on gear. He just comes in like fucking 260 pounds, bro. Oh, y'all remember Brandon Jacobs? Yo, have you guys seen Brandon Jacobs' son? Oh, my goodness gracious. Yo, look at these two. Bro. Bro. That's Brandon Jacobs, and that's his son. Bro, do you see how big his son is? Brandon Jacobs is 6'4", 265 pounds. He's a tank. Look at his boy, dude. He's a fucking giant. He's an actual giant. Seriously. Look at that. Bro, I seen this the other day on IG, and I was just like, you got to be goddamn shitting me, man. That's Brandon Jacobs' son, 6'7". Holy cow, man. That's a tank. That's an absolute tank of a human being. All right, guys, so real quick before we get up out of here, 4 Lions named All-Pro, 2 on each side of the ball. Hey, you see that? You see that? That's me. If you guys see something running by and you hear someone say, "Hey, Ma, look out," but it might be too late. She might already be mooned. You might see me running by, taking my victory lap. Oh, yes, they call me the Streak. I'm the fastest thing on 2 feet. I'm going to be taking me some victory laps about Jack Campbell. Oh, yes, they call him the Streak. I'm the fastest thing on 2 feet. I turned around and say, "Look out, Ma!" But it is too late. She'd been mooned. All right, guys, so Jack Campbell, Lions tackle Penei Sewell, was named first-team All-Pro for the 3rd consecutive time. Will you just give him his gold jacket already? There is an award that will be awarded this year as the best offensive lineman in the NFL award. It's the first time that it'll be given out. You might as well just change the name of it to the Penei Sewell Award because he's going to win it every single year. He's a oh, wow, you are. And his draft class is going to be a Hall of Fame style draft class. He was joined this year by linebacker action Jack Campbell. making his first appearance on the first team All-Pro. Sewell has long been considered one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. Campbell finished the season with 176 tackles, 5 sacks among his season totals. My guy had 176 tackles. That's not counting special teams tackles. My guy had 176 tackles. Are you shitting me, bro? That's nuts. That is actually bananas. The Vanilla Gorilla straight up went bananas, dude. That's what happened this year. The Vanilla Gorilla went bananas. Those two were joined by second-team All-Pro receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, making his third appearance after being a first-teamer the last 2 years, and Aiden Hutchinson earning All-Pro status for the first time the year after his season was cut short due to injury. St. Brown had 117 catches for 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns, while Hutch had 14.5 sacks and led the NFL in pressures. Here's your first team. Matt Stafford at quarterback, Bijan Robinson at running back, Kyle Juszczyk at fullback. Well, that's pretty easy when you're basically the only fullback really in the NFL. Wide receivers Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith and Jigba and Jamar Chase. All-purpose player Christian McCaffrey. Tight end Trey McBride. Left tackle Garrett Bowles. Left guard Joe Tooney. Center Creed Humphrey. Right guard Quinn Manhertz. And right tackle Penny, the living human wall. Give him his gold jacket already. Sewell. Defense, edge rusher Myles Garrett, Will Anderson Jr., and Micah Parsons. Yeah, that's a insane first-team All-Pro defensive end room right there. Damn. Them are some boys right there. Them some boys right there. I tell you what. Interior defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons and Zach Allen. Linebackers Action Jack Campbell and Jordan Brooks. Cornerbacks Derek Stingley Jr. and Quinyon Mitchell. Slot corner Cooper DeJean and safeties Kyle Hamilton and Kevin Byard. Special teams place kicker Will Reichert. Punter Jordan Stout. Kick returner Ray Davis. Punt returner Chimmy Dyke. Special teamer Devin Kay. And long snapper Ross Matisic. There you go. And we're not going to read the second team guys, though George Booger Pickens did make it with Amon-Ra and Chris Olave. Drake May, second team All-Pro, nicely done in his second year. All-purpose Bijan Robinson, nicely done. Nicely done. Not bad. Hutch obviously brings up the back end of the defense on the second team. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not a bad group of guys, dude. Not a bad group of guys. So shout out Action Jack Campbell. Just keep your eyes peeled, you guys. If you see me running down the road, just better keep your eyes away, dude, because it's they call me the Streak. I'm the fastest thing on 2 feet, and I'm going to be taking me a victory lap over Action Jack Campbell getting named All-Pro. Pro Bowl honors and first team All-Pro with 176 tackles. I believe your boy shouted that out at the beginning of the year. I've been on that Jack Campbell train all year, and I'm just rubbing it right in Braylon Edwards' face for whatever that's worth. 176 tackles is ridiculous, dude. Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Figs. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much, man. I was hoping you guys would like the camera, dude. I really needed to just, we're so close to that 1,000 subscriber mark. I felt like it was time to actually start kind of looking the part, like it. Might as well. If we're doubling down on if we're doubling down on Hat and Beard channel, the Hat and Beard show this year, I have to put some investments into the production quality, right? Well, the camera's the first step. Also, the new thumbnails. So let me know. Let me know if you guys like the new thumbnails. Hopefully, we get some more traction with that type of stuff. Again, there will be no 4 p.m. upload today. I got to fix the washing machine right now, and then I got to work on the thumbnails, and I got to go to work. And today is day. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today's Monday, and then I got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Was it 5, 3, 8 day? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Day 4 of 8. So I'm just in the armpit of a stretch right now, boys and girls. So forgive me for being a little limping across the goal line. But tomorrow we'll have the 4 p.m. as well as our normal live show. Wednesday 4 p.m., Thursday 4 p.m. Maybe we'll take Friday off the 4 p.m. I haven't decided yet, but we'll get there, right? All right. Well, guys, try and have yourself a good rest of the day. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Subscribe to the channel. Slap the like button on your way out here. Share this video around with all your friends. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Until next time, that's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Bonga bonga. Frig off.